Hello and welcome to the Heel Turn Podcast for the week of October 7th, 2013. I am your host, Big Al. With me, as always,
is Nick the Shopmaster Magee.
And Sensational Sosie,
our wonderful technical director.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the beginning of our October, for our October interview month. Let me give you a quick rundown of our tonight's podcast. We will discuss WWE Battleground, discuss TNA news, do our ROH TV recap. Big Al will come to us with his first ever Fan Fic Fails segment, so I can't wait for that. We'll have a brief discussion about Ohio Valley Wrestling from last Saturday night, which will lead to our exclusive interview with Ohio Valley Wrestling Heavyweight Champion Jamon Olencia. And also, I will give you a brief history of Portland Wrestling, which will lead to our exclusive first time ever interview with Portland Wrestling Uncut superstar, the one, the only, Colt Toombs. And Big Al, do you want to start off this podcast tonight discussing WWE Battleground?
Not really, but I guess I can. Well, I didn't catch the first match with Dolph Ziggler and Damien Sandow.
Which was the pre-show.
Yeah, we didn't get a chance to watch that.
Yeah, we didn't watch that.
But Ziggler won.
Yeah,
Ziggler won, and Damien messed up his knee.
And Damien continued the curse of Money in the Bank, jobbing out to every single person that steps to the ring. I'm pretty sure Damien Sandow would job out to a mop if necessary.
Ham sandwich.
And a ham sandwich.
He'll make that mop look good, though. Can we just go right and talk about my favorite superstar, the reigning WWE champion, Vacant? Yes.
Yay, the Vacant WWE Championship. Okay.
Hey,
Vacant retained his title in a stellar match.
Yes, he did. And I'll tell you this, that was a championship-worthy match. And I wouldn't be surprised if Vacant wasn't inducted into the 2014 class for the Hall of Fame.
You know what? I saw clips of the match on YouTube. I didn't watch the pay-per-view last night. I was off preparing for this podcast. And just by reading the notes online and reading the reaction from the crowd, the fans really pissed all over the ending. They really did.
Well, yeah.
But me personally, I'm not upset about the ending.
It's a great extension to the feud.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a great extension to the feud.
And you know what? This is what I predict might happen.
Well, yeah.
This is what I'm going to predict. Shows like, I don't know why you're wasting your time with those two. I can be the face of the company.
Who was that?
Big Show.
I think Big Show is still in that conflicted role of, yes, I'm doing the corporation's bidding, but at the same time, I hate your guts too. Mm-hmm. And yes, it left with Big Show being on top of a pay-per-view, which we have not seen in almost 7 years. The Big Show actually leading off a pay-per-view, going off the air with Big Show standing tall in the middle of the ring.
Right.
But the thing is, someone made this comment on one of the wrestling forums. I can't remember which forum it was. It was like, oh, that's nice. Neither Daniel Bryan and Randy Orton would get WWE Championship. If John Cena was still around, obviously he will have walked out of the building with the belt.
Yeah, because if John Cena can't be champion, no one
can be champion. I mean, I guess that's like the hidden golden rule. We're going to keep the title vacant until Cena comes back at the Royal Rumble. And guess what? We'll crown a champion during the Royal Rumble match. How about that, everybody?
Well, a lot of people were upset because basically nothing happened at this pay-per-view.
Let me tell
Not one title changed. The only thing that happened was the Rhodes family, and we all knew that was going to happen.
But it was the most emotionally... I'll get to that match in just a minute, because it was the most emotionally charged match of the entire evening, which completely established the storyline involving the corporation. But back to Daniel Bryan and Randy Orton real quick. For the ADHD generation of wrestling fans that's going on right now, this is called furthering a storyline.
Yeah.
Of course, on Raw, you'll get your 15 minutes of bullcrap at the very beginning of the show.
Triple H.
Exactly, Triple H. You got to do what's best for business. And, of course, this will lead to a Hell in a Cell match between Orton and Daniel Bryan, which I'm predicting, I'm hoping and praying to God that Daniel Bryan will get the title back and have a legit WWE title reign, because rumor has it they're looking to go into a big program with Big Show and Randy Orton. Or could this be a seed being planted that Big Show is going to reinsert himself into WWE Championship feud? Or could the new corporation swindle us all and say, hey, since the Big Show's having a change of heart, we basically will be putting our stock in Big Show being the new face of the company. And say, Randy Orton, you can't get the job done, and Daniel Bryan, you're a B-plus superstar, so we're going with the monster.
Right.
To be the face of the company.
I can agree with that.
And another thing about Battleground was the clips I seen, and I have to concur with the fans who were reviewing the pay-per-view last night. RVD and Del Rio actually was a good match. It actually was with the hardcore rules.
I will say this, though. The crowd just wasn't into it. It didn't seem like
I
the
don't
crowd
know.
was
From the
into
clips
it.
I saw, it seemed like the crowd was into it.
Wait, I could be confusing that with the match previous.
You could be confusing it with the Real America versus Kali and
I don't
Santino. The
know
only highlight of that
why-
match was Cesaro swinging Kali around the ring.
I don't
Yeah.
know
That
why
giant swing.
that match
Happened.
existed.
Yeah.
Just to fill up airtime on pay-per-view.
And let's not even get into the Diva match with
Yep.
AJ Lee and
I'm just glad AJ
Brie
kept
Bella.
her title.
I just glad AJ kept the title. She didn't drop it to a member of the Totally Divas cast. Because Brie Bella, no offense, but will be a
She can't.
trashy champion. She can't wrestle.
Yeah, she can't wrestle.
She can't wrestle worth a
She
dollar.
can wrestle better than her sister.
She can wrestle Daniel Bryan.
Oh.
And anybody else.
And also, I actually enjoyed the clips that I saw of the Ryback Punk match. But
It wasn't bad. I thought I was looking for it to be far worse than what it was, but it wasn't that horrible.
you know what? This is the match, compared to their matches from like earlier this year and late last year, around this exact same time last year, compared to their previous matches, this was the better of the previous matches. And I will move on in just a minute. This was the better of the previous matches to me, because we know Punk's dealing with nagging injuries. We know Ryback is extremely limited in the ring. I think Punk did a real good job
Carrying the match.
carrying the match with his nagging injuries. I think Ryback did a good job taking his time and pacing himself through the match and inserting Paul Heyman as good in-match psychology as well. I think the right person won. I just hate that Ryback lost another pay-per-view match. He only won one pay-per-view match this year.
Right.
That was against Jericho. But, you know, Ryback can always get his win back either on TV or maybe at Survivor Series or Hell in a Cell.
Agreed.
You know, flip a
Yeah.
coin.
Agreed.
Right.
You know, Punk needed this win because dropping a loss to Lesnar and dropping a loss to
To
Heyman.
Heyman, yeah.
I mean, he somewhat needed this win, but it doesn't weaken Ryback in some weird
No,
way.
it doesn't.
It doesn't diminish him in
It
any
doesn't
way.
because he still comes off as that monster character.
Yeah, he still comes off at Bully Rye. Even though Ryback says, I hate bullies. And
Yeah.
he does hate CM Punk, because CM Punk is a bully. He's picking on poor Paul Heyman. Punk's a bully.
I want to see Paul Heyman versus CM Punk in the cage.
That match will be
I want
on-
to see Paul Heyman and CM Punk in a dog collar match.
Right, Piper. If you're listening, that's a shot to you, buddy. You're great. Dog collar master, Great to Hammer Valentine for the
Yes.
NWA United States Championship.
Yes.
Oh man, that was a throwback
Yes,
there.
it was. I've been watching a lot of Toombs family clips today.
But anyway, moving on real quickly to the Rose Family Shield feud. Was it me or was that the best match of the night?
It was.
It was by far. And Goldie spouting his Darth Maul makeup. I don't know if that's what he was going for, but that's what it reminded me
yeah.
of.
Dusty busting out with the bionic elbow on DM.
And didn't we call that? Didn't we call that last week that it would be Dean Ambrose? The
Yeah,
Dean Ambrose?
bionic elbow. But I did not foresee him getting clocked with a belt buckle.
No. No. But the Rose family, they keep their job, and we all know the backstory with Goldust. He'll stick around to WrestleMania, and maybe we get that Cody Rhodes Goldust matchup that we've been begging for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
3.
3 years. So best matches, and I hope they go somewhere with this. But that match really established Cody. And I'll be the first one to say this here on the podcast. I did not have faith in Cody Rhodes being a main event star in this particular storyline. But after last night, seeing the clips and reading all the reviews across the board universally, he's proven me wrong.
I'll dare say
He has proved me wrong. I'm sorry.
I was
carried.
right. I was right.
He carried he carried far more of that match than his brother would have.
Yeah, and don't cut gold to say he's
I'm not cutting him short.
I mean, he hung in there in
He
today's
did.
WWE. He hung in there.
And he can do it. He can still go. He goes like, yeah.
Yeah, but Cody, if you're listening, I was wrong about you. I'm sorry. All right, next up, some TNA news. And Al, we talked about this in our pre-show fist fight. There's a possibility that the Carters could potentially sell TNA. There's rumors, there's fillers out there on the internet. Now, we've been talking about this for weeks. I think for like 2 months now, the possibility of TNA
How
being put up for
much?
sale.
How much?
Jericho will buy it. He'll buy it this time.
Maybe 2 nickels and $1.
Roll of quarters and a pack of Slim Jims?
That's the type of offer that Randy Savage will
Yeah,
throw
yeah,
out
they
there.
have to be the vintage Slim Jims with Randy on them.
I mean,
Yeah.
just imagine if TNA did get put for sale, or they sell a majority share of control of that company to somebody. I mean,
Somebody? You mean Vince?
huh?
Shane?
Shane McMahon.
Yes.
Here comes the money. I don't know. I don't think Shane's really that interested in coming back into the wrestling business. I really don't.
I was hoping that this whole storyline with the corporation was a backdoor to get him to come back.
It could be. Who
Because
knows?
I mean, what would be better to stop
Could it be-
Stephanie than her
It'd be
brother?
too predictable if Vince come and step in.
Right. It's
just too-
predictable for Vince. That's why I
Right.
say
Or Linda.
she can't. She ain't coming back.
She's not coming back.
She's never coming
No,
back.
she's never coming back. Linda's out.
Okay.
You see maybe some tribute video with a slow motion type thing in the background where you see Linda waving to the crowd, some anti-bullying campaign.
Yeah.
But far as the on-screen TV character, no. But
Plus, she's not a star. She doesn't have any star quality in her at all. She's
Right.
super stiff and can't deliver lines.
Right.
She's better in the back. Or-
exactly.
They should
But
Not
bring
there.
back Katie Vick.
no.
No.
Maybe Katie Vick could buy TNA.
Yeah! With her insurance money.
Yeah, exactly.
With her life insurance money.
You know, but seriously though, could we look at the possibility of maybe WWE buying TNA? Is TNA worth buying for the McMahon family?
Yeah, because then they own Sting. They own his entire career.
But his contract must be expiring though, so Sting could get this thing again if WWE buys him out.
True.
He'd be like, I escaped the McMahons again twice.
Yeah, he escapes, but his
Fast as
entire...
fast can be. You'll never catch me.
Yeah.
I'm 55, I can still move.
Yeah, but where would he go?
He
would climb so quickly to the top of every single
You know what?
indie promotion out there.
Let me tell
Yeah,
you.
but they...
Well, he is wrestling down there in Puerto Rico at
Yeah, he'd have to go
in
somewhere
Cologne
else.
family?
the Cologne family promotion. He'd been down there a couple of times in September.
Hmm.
That's where
He
he'd
wrestled
have to go.
Carlito.
Oh.
Because the indie
It wasn't a
guys
bad match.
wouldn't be able to pay him what he would.
Oh heck no.
They can't pay him.
ROH no. Dragon Gate no. Evolve
Japan,
no.
maybe.
Japan, yeah. Japan maybe. Mexico, kind of iffy. But
Yeah.
as far as any North American company,
They
he'll
don't-
have to take a huge payday and just do it for the pop.
Yeah.
A huge
Pay
a
cut.
pay cut, excuse me, and do it for the pop. Like he show up at ROH randomly or just to do autographs, a la Bret Hart a few years ago when he just did autographs, or maybe he just pop up at Pro Wrestling Guerrilla somewhere in LA.
Yeah, I can see all of that happening. But anyways, let's move on to our ROH TV recap,
Yeah.
sir.
You know what? We all should put our nickels and dimes together and try to buy TNA.
I got a change bag over there.
Or maybe we could ask Colt Toombs later, will the Toon Clan put their fortune together and buy TNA and merge it with Portland Wrestling Uncut?
Excellent question.
We could ask them that later. But anyway, my Ring of Honor TV recap. This past Saturday, they showed the finals of the Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Championship tournament between Adam Cole and Michael Elkin, which was probably one of the best matches I've seen so far this year, which I'm putting up there on the Heel Turn Podcast Match of the Year.
Okay.
I'm putting out there as a nominee. As
Okay.
a nominee, I'm not saying that it is the Heel Turn Podcast Match of the Year, but it is a nominee.
Okay. We gotta come up with a list of...
We gotta come
other
up with an
ones.
official list before this year is out,
Yes.
and announce a winner.
Yes.
So pretty soon, fans, we'll be looking back through our tape of this year and see what potentially could be the heel turn podcast match of the year.
Agreed.
But it was a great TV taping, and the next TV taping for next week is basically gonna be the lead up to Glory by Honor 12.
Okay.
All right, and moving right along. This is my favorite segment of the show. Let me crinkle up the papers, ladies and gentlemen. I've been waiting for this since last week. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll give to you right now, live, pre-recorded, Big Al's Fan Fic Fail.
My fan fiction actually came from back when I was in high school.
Oh,
It's floating around there somewhere. I don't know where it is, but it exists. When I was in high school, Marvel and DC did a versus each other storyline. And at the end of that storyline, they then merged the two universes, causing like Wolverine to merge with Batman to become Darkclaw, Captain America to merge with Superman to become Super Soldier. I came up with a storyline where the Punisher merged with Batman, and it was terrible.
Tell us more.
That's just it. I can't remember.
Alright, Punisher merged with Batman to become what? The Dark Punisher?
Actually, I don't know. I don't know what he would call himself. I can't remember, but I do remember one thing. Instead of batarangs, he had bladed skull knife.
That's actually pretty cool.
Instead of the knife, it's actually a knife. The teeth of the skull were the projectile, were what stuck into people.
Okay, let's go on with this game, man. If we take the WWE universe and put it together with the TNA Impact world, and you merge them together, John Cena and AJ Styles will be called what? Or Samoa Joe?
It'd be Stina.
Stina, yeah.
Stina.
Or Samoa Joe and CM Punk will become what if you merge them together?
Let's see, Samoa Joe and CM Punk.
Samoa made Punk.
Samoa made Punk.
It
now,
was?
Now, next week, Big Al will come to us with his version of Book It.
I actually do have a book it that I did want to get to this week that I said I would do last week.
Oh, well,
you
give us your
did,
book it
yes.
then. Hey, we got time. Give us your book it.
All right, my book it is this. And simply, okay, the Wyatt family, not as creepy as they were.
Yes, they
Except for
are.
last night.
Except for last
You saw
night.
what they did to the black guy?
Yeah, they did that to the black guy. But I will say this. Zack Ryder needs something to enhance him. And if Bray Wyatt and... help me out here.
Bray Wyatt, Luke Harper, and I can't remember that third guy's name.
Is it Eric something? Or,
I think it's Eric Rowan.
Whatever.
Rowan and Harper. I know it's Luke Harper. And
Anyways.
The other two. The lambs.
The other two.
The sheep.
the guy that wears the sheep mask. There. Sheep.
They end Ryder in the ring. They then truss him up, throw him over the shoulder, take him in back. We don't see Ryder again except in vignettes of them torturing and brainwashing him to become their fourth member. And he becomes an acolyte to Bray Wyatt.
So he will come out with crappy jeans and a very stained up white beater.
No, not even that. I say...
Stop tanning, stop grooming.
Yeah, he stops tanning, he stops grooming. All he is just...
I mean, he becomes a butt
jeans.
kicker.
All he comes out is in a pair of jeans and some boots.
Can we give him a new name?
No.
Zack Ryder, just dump the name.
He would need to be Zach still, because that kind of goes into with
Zachariah.
Zachariah something or another.
Or just call him Zachariah.
Brother Zachariah.
Yeah, brother Zachariah.
No, that's... Zachariah.
Too much like Uncle Zebekiah.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I agree. How about Zachariah? Give me a crazy hick name.
Billy Bob.
No, that's a first name. Zachariah
Johnson.
Okay, go with it. I was about to say Johnson. Zachariah Johnson. Okay, I dig that. That will completely resurrect Zachariah's career, put him in a major storyline. And Ryder, compared to the other two guys, can actually go in the ring. Because we know Bray Wyatt can go in the ring. Bray Wyatt's style right now, it's like a sloppy version of Cactus Jack.
No.
Yes.
I'd say
compare his in-ring style right now to when he was a former Husky Harris in the NXT days. When NXT actually was on Sci-Fi every week.
Okay.
I mean, his style back then was way more cleaner. Where right now it's kind of sloppy, but I think it's on purpose.
Yeah, I think that would be on purpose.
He's
like
just
on purpose.
That talented.
Yeah, it's on purpose because it fits his character. Because his character is very unorthodox.
Yeah.
So it reminds me
his
of
character isn't really a wrestler.
Exactly. So it's
He's
like
a brawler.
Right. So it's like a sloppy version of an early Cactus Jack character back in the mid WCW. But when Cactus Jack came on the scene,
nobody wrestled like him.
No, nobody performed like him. He was very sloppy. That's why they really harp on the false can't count anywhere matches he had with Sting and Van Hammer. It was kind of sloppy, but it was entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Bray Wyatt has that same type of style, but go on now.
Well, that's basically it. They put him in there, and he becomes the breakout star alongside Bray Wyatt, and the other two, they fall by the wayside and go on to something else.
I see them being tag team champions if they get the titles off the Shield. But that's not going to happen until they get the belts off the Shield.
And I don't think they're going to be the ones to do it. I think the Rhodes are. The brothers Rhodes.
You know what? I could see the Rhodes taking the belts off the Shield.
I don't see them holding them long.
I say 2 months. I will say at least to Royal Rumble. If you take the belts off them like at Survivor Series, I can see them holding it to Royal Rumble. And that's when you will slowly see a rift in the Rhodes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which will lead to a WrestleMania match. That'd be the perfect time to pull the trigger on that feud. But anyway, moving right along. Next up is Ohio Valley Wrestling, which is the developmental territory of TNA Impact Wrestling. Ohio Valley recently, last Saturday, had an event called Saturday Night Special. I know it sounds so Kentucky-like.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it sounds very 80s.
It does.
Yeah.
It sounds very 80s. I seen stills of it. I read the results of it. It was a pretty good event. They got a lot of talented guys down there at OVW.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, but OVW was the training ground for John Cena. Batista.
Yeah, when they had a partnership with the WWE. John Cena, Batista, CM Punk, The Miz, Bobby Lashley.
Randy
He was called Bastard Lashley.
Dude who got super kicked right out of WWE and into ROH. I forget his name.
Shelton Benjamin.
Shelton Benjamin.
Benjamin and Haas were both down there in OVW.
He got super kicked right out of the Fed.
Hey, one way to go.
Landed in ROH.
Well, he's in New Japan. Shelton Benjamin's actually in New Japan right now.
Oh, right on.
And he's actually doing very well in New Japan.
He was doing well in ROH.
He was. I mean, New Japan, they pay a lot of money. They pay at least over $100,000 to a lot of the American wrestlers. So it's a guaranteed payday.
Yeah.
I mean, but anyway, they had a great event. The OVW champion, Jamin Olivencia, retained his OVW championship from James Thomas in a loser leaves OVW forever match. And
I hate those kind of matches.
You know, it fit very well because I think James Thomas is a free agent. I don't think he's really part of OVW anymore. So it actually fit with the storyline. But anyway, Jamon is the longest reigning OVW champion currently right now in history. He held the belt is holding the belt right now over 180 days.
Nice.
And this guy, I'm going to tell you very briefly, which he's going to talk about more in his interview. He competed for Empire State Wrestling in 2003 to 2005. He competed for OVW in 2005. He had tryout matches with WWE. He had a brief tryout match with TNA. He had a tryout match with ROH. This guy has been around. He's a great talent, had a great look to him, and I think his interview coming up is going to be very intriguing. I think our fans will really enjoy this interview and appreciate what this guy brings to the table. I guarantee you, if TNA don't get their head out of the clouds, I can see this guy going to the Fed and be part of their developmental system.
You know what?
Because he's a star. He really is a star.
You know what? All the better for him.
Yeah. And ladies and gentlemen,
and you know, TNA, they drop the ball all the time.
I mean, that's a question that we asked him during the interview. That's the question I asked him during the interview. Has TNA approached him about a developmental deal? And he'll answer that later on in the interview, which you're about to go to right now. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the Ohio Valley Wrestling heavyweight champion, the one and only Jamon Olencia.
Ladies and gentlemen of the Heel Turn Podcast, I present to you the longest reigning Ohio Valley Wrestling heavyweight champion in recent history, the one, the only, the sensational Jamon Olivencia.
There you go, Olivencia, that is correct. How you doing today? Thanks for having me on the show, man.
No problem, Jamon. Thanks for coming on, dude.
Anytime, man, anytime. Anything I can do to help you guys out and spread the word.
Awesome. Well, let me start by saying, Jamon, because I've been reading a lot on your history for the past few days, and you're one of the most impressive wrestlers in OVW currently right now. And from everything I've been reading about you and from watching a lot of your YouTube matches, you are a very impressive champion.
Oh, well, thanks a lot, man. You know, I'm one of those guys that, no matter what the obstacle is, I'm always ready for the challenge, and I'm always looking forward to doing it with enthusiasm and energy. That's the way I work, man. It doesn't matter what day of the week, it's every single day of my life. What fuels my fire is the fact that I have a daughter, the fact that I'm alive, and the fact that I can take over any situation at any given moment when I feel like it, and that's just the way it works for me. So, hey, man, it's a blessing, and I'm just happy to be alive, dude.
Amen, dude. To start off, what inspired you to get involved in the wrestling industry, first off?
It goes back, man, to it's a classic story of hanging out with your brother when you were 4 years old and just looking at the TV, and, man, honestly, it was love at first sight. I saw it, and I knew exactly that's what I wanted to do when I was about the age of 4 or 5. I just knew it. I felt it inside of me. And it's never changed, so what inspired me to do it? Nothing really specifically. I think I was just fascinated with the art of it, man. It was just, there was something about it, but, it's funny because when I usually try to explain this to people, it wasn't what I was looking at so much, it was when I was really paying attention to what was going on inside of me. I knew I was destined to do this, and I was just determined right from that point forward, and I've obviously made it a point to continue that fantasy, that dream, whatever you want to call it. I just call it my destiny, so that's what I feel like I've been put on earth to do, and in the process I hope to affect people and only in a positive way as I move on.
Awesome. And who was your trainer when you first got involved in the wrestling industry?
When I first got involved in the wrestling industry, I was 17 years old. I started at a school called Empire State Wrestling,
okay.
And it was basically just your typical local fed, but it was a little bit, it was a little bit different. We had a built-in audience right off the bat. They were very popular. We were drawing 500 to 600, and to this day it's still going, and I'm very proud of them. They've all worked hard, and it's really just a bunch of dudes that got together, wanted to do it, and they brought in some trainers here and there. We're properly trained, I guess, there. But I was there for a good year, working shows, the typical once-a-month shows, and maybe twice a month if you got extra work. At that time I didn't because I was so new, but I met a lot of good people through that, so, of course, I started traveling to Canada and did a lot of Canada tours and stuff like that, and then I went to England, actually,
Oh, wow.
for a couple months. Yeah, I went to England for a couple months and worked holiday camps, and got some experience there, and at that point forward, I made a little bit of money, and I said, I want to make my mark in this business, so where do I want to do it? I want to do it in the WWE, so where am I going to go? If I want to go to the WWE, well, I'll go to Ohio Valley Wrestling. And so I made a conscious effort right when I got back to the United States to pack up my bags at the age of 18 and just moved to Louisville, Kentucky.
Awesome, dude. And when you arrived at OVW, did WWE show interest in you right off the bat?
I'm sorry, your question again?
I said, when you arrived at Ohio Valley Wrestling, did the WWE show interest in you back in 2005?
No, it didn't really work like that. You had to go through the beginner's class, you had to go through the intermediate class. For me, I guess you could say I was lucky. I went to the intermediate class right away. I went to the beginner's class for I think a week. It was something real simple, but then Rick Rogers was training the intermediate class. So I decided, I talked to him one day, and we made a deal where I would just go in that class, and I was going to learn how to be a pro wrestler.
Okay.
And that's what I did. I went there and I learned from Rip. To this day, he's like a father to me. He's been nothing but supportive, and everything I do, he's really one of the reasons why, I think I'm the performer I am, along with a lot of other great people that came in my life, but there was a driving force there. He was able to really show me how to bring out the emotional side of me, and especially when I was a kid, first getting started, I was very emotional. I was very, I got up and I just did this kind of on my own. I just said, screw it, I'm going to do it, and I did it, and once again, he's one of those guys that really helped change and mold my career to what it's becoming now, and he's, to this day, he's still a great influence on me.
Awesome. Jamon, I just want to ask you this one. Historically, you won the OVW TV title a record 8 times. It had incredible feuds with Joey Mercury, Mike Motto, and Muhammad Ali. I can't pronounce his last name. Yeah. What was your most memorable feud during your multiple TV title reign?
That's such a, man, that honestly is a tough question. I always feel that no matter what it is in life that comes to you, the chance for it to be memorable is right then and there. And, it's hard to pick out a certain guy, a certain thing. You talk about Joey Mercury, you talk about Mike Mondo, you talk about Muhammad Ali Baez, there was Rudy Switchblade. There was a lot of guys that I had memorable feuds with for that title, and all those guys, in some respect, I was able to create magic with. So, to single-handedly pick out one of them is really hard for me, because those were all different learning experiences for me, and I'm not one of those guys that's like, oh, this was the greatest moment of my career, or this is the greatest moment of my life. I was never that guy. I was always like, okay, this is a moment, and I'm going to make it mine. I'm going to take over. I'm going to go in there and make this atmosphere and create it to how I see it fit, and how Jamin Olivencia sees fit, and that's the way I kind of go into it. So to me, they're just nothing but a collection of great memories. They're a collection of great times when I was in the ring and I always got to perform. I think every time I got to perform for that title, it was always memorable, and not just for me ultimately, but always for the fans. And that's, to me, that's the big deal, man. That's who I look to. I look for I cater to those people. I cater to the people that support us, that support wrestling, that believe in this sport, and take it serious, and most importantly, enjoy themselves. And on top of that, to add to that, hopefully be inspired by someone, whether it's good or bad. It doesn't matter. As long as you're being inspired, there's a fulfillment there. And to be a part of that process, to me, is the actual memory that I always look forward to. So, when you say that, I think of all those things, and to me, that's the ultimate great satisfaction I get out of it.
Awesome, dude. Do you think your TV title reign cemented you as the top overall OVW superstar and gave OVW officials confidence in your ability to carry the company?
I think anything I've done with Ohio Valley Wrestling is just what I've done, and a lot of great guys have come and gone, but I think the truth of the matter is, and OVW knows this, and anybody that's close to it understands. I work my ass off. I do whatever I can to always promote what you're seeing and what you're hearing right now on this podcast for me is what you did for me. So that's you can define it any way you want. I don't define it. This is what I am. And if someone wants to call me the greatest WWE heavyweight champion of all time, the greatest WWE television champion of all time, one half of the WWE Southern Tag Team champion of all time, you know, you can call me whatever you want, and that's fine. And I'm just happy to be a part of it.
Also, speaking of the OVW Heavyweight Championship, can you describe to our audience the emotion you felt when you finally won that championship from Doug Williams earlier this year?
It was wonderful. It was a wonderful feeling because, you know, when you're the guy that you always work hard. You know, no matter what it is you do, you always believe. And when you want to be that guy in your own mind coming up, you know, it never sometimes happens, or you know, it was my everything for my thing was always just too short to do anything, and you know that always fired me up. I used to love it. I to this day I love it. People are like, oh, you're short. It's like, oh well, you know, actually I'm probably a lot bigger than you. So the way I always look at it is, you know, I just always went out there and did me, man. You know, and that's what it is to this day. Me doing me, and no one's stopping me. So, come on, bring it on. I'm the heavyweight champion now. It was a wonderful feeling, and it was, you know, it was fulfilling. And Doug, I tell you what, man, that's one of the toughest dudes I've ever been in the ring with.
Mm-hmm.
Doug Williams, and that's to me what really drives me is the toughness of these guys. That's what I appreciate about this business. It's the toughness of these guys and what you're fighting for. So to win that, it was great, man. It was a great feeling. It was you think there's always fulfillment, but there's never the feeling of fulfillment. There's just happiness. And you know, I try not to look for fulfillment out of it, but to be right now where I am, longest reigning OVW Heavyweight Champion is cool. I'm very proud of my accomplishments, and it's only going up from here, guys.
Awesome, man. I could tell and I could feel the passion even through this telephone interview, and it's very refreshing that young guys like you are coming up through the ranks, either OVW, Ring of Honor, Portland Wrestling Uncut, or whatever organization you're a part of. It's just great that young guys like you are having this passion and this love for the business. It's very refreshing, and having that passion make fans like us even love the business more, because we see that you genuinely love this business. And I want to say thank you for having that passion.
Well, you know, thank you for the support. It's a two-way street, man. And, you know, heck, you know, we all aspire to do something, you know. And my first advice, and, you know, I'm going to take this time, I really want to take my moment to always spread a message to anybody that's listening to this. No matter what it is you want to do, just go fucking get it. I don't care who you are, where you're from, go fucking get it. You want something, go get it, grab it. And you know what? Enjoy it when you get it, and don't look for yourself in it. But enjoy it. Because I tell you what, when you're doing that, that's when you start turning some heads. That's when you start raising some eyebrows. And that's when you really do change the world. And right now, my mission in professional wrestling in this industry is to change things around. And you know what? I'm going to do it. And I'm calling it out right now.
Amen, brother. Jamon, how do you describe Ohio Valley Wrestling business partnership with TNA Impact Wrestling?
I'm sorry, what was your question?
I said, how will you describe Ohio Valley Wrestling's business partnership with TNA?
It's a great relationship. We're the developmental for TNA. We're the developmental for WWE. TNA obviously recognizes that OVW has produced the greatest stars of all time. I don't think we need to go down that list. I think we all know the list, and I think that's what TNA recognizes, and that's what they want to capitalize on. And so the relationship is no different from any other relationship. This is where the talent comes down. They get their skills honed, and this is the place to be if you want to get better. If not, then well, good luck, and whatever else you do, that's okay too.
Awesome. Has TNA ever approached you about a possible developmental deal?
Me and TNA actually have a very good relationship with one another. It's just a matter of the right time. When's the right time for whatever? And that's always the question. you or teasing you. It's when's the right time. When are we going to do something? How do we want to do something? You know, for me, I do a lot of work doing a lot of other things. You know, I'm in the theater. I've done even some stunt work. I like to really dip my hands in everything I can. You know, I've done stuff with WWE, word talks as well. So there's a lot of, you know, it's always what's the right time, the right place for Jamon Olencia, and who wants to bring Jamon Olencia in? That's always the question. And when one of the companies is ready, then I think everyone else will know where I'm going, obviously.
Hey, Jamin, since you mentioned you were in talks with WWE somewhat, you were on a recent episode of SmackDown back on September 20th when you challenged Ryback. Did WWE officials approach you afterwards, and that's when they started talking to you?
You know, the WWE has been looking at me for over a year now, and they've seen me for years, and it's always been the same question. You know, it's not oh, do we like you or do we not like you? It's when can we bring you in? When's the right time? If there is a time, you know. So you know, it's always been a great relationship with them. They saw me. I go there and I have a blast with them, and that's what it is. And it doesn't have to go any deeper than that, really. It's when I work for you, we're always gonna have a blast, whether it's TNA or WWE. It doesn't even matter. When you work with me, we're gonna have a blast, and that's the bottom line.
Awesome. According to your history, you had a tryout match with Ring of Honor as well back in 2011. How did you come about getting a tryout match with Ring of Honor?
It wasn't a tryout match. It was just a match. I wasn't trying out for Ring of Honor. I have no interest in Ring of Honor. I have nothing against Ring of Honor. I respect Ring of Honor. I respect all the talent there. You know, there's a guy there, actually, I'd like to just say right now, Adam Colt. That kid's something special. We got to perform in California at the Wrestling Fair show against one another, and we tore the house down. There's a lot of great talent in Ring of Honor, but no, I just never, you know, Ring of Honor approached me, I wasn't too interested. It just wasn't my cup of tea. And once again, that's nothing against them. It's just like I said, you know, I like vanilla ice cream and chocolate, and sometimes not always strawberry.
Yeah, there is a lot to be said about wanting to go to one company or the other. The TNA and WWE is more storyline based, whereas Ring of Honor is more just performance based. One of the reasons my wife can't get into Ring of Honor is it's mostly matches and not much storyline. And if you have that acting bug in you, it seems like you do, you're wanting to perform more than you are wanting to just enter the ring and just bump your tail off.
Well, you know, man, it's also, I see myself always on a different level, you know? And once again, I'm not saying it's better or not than Ring of Honor or whatever, it's however you want to define it. But to me, I see myself doing something bigger. And to me, that's not bigger. To me, that's doing what anybody else can do. You know what I mean? And I'm the guy that likes to scratch the surface, and I'm the guy that likes to do the impossible, or what is perceived as the impossible.
Right on, man. If you could name one wrestler in TNA and WWE you would like to face one-on-one, who would it be?
Oh, it's Kurt Angle.
Oh, yes, I did see an article about you wanting to challenge Kurt Angle. I believe you said that after last Saturday's event.
I did, and I will actually issue a statement later this week regarding that, and, well, Kurt Angle knows what I'm all about. He knows who I am, and Kurt, if you're listening, just listen with your eyes, my friend.
Well, I hope Angle is listening. He actually takes some time out to listen because you are definitely coming after him, brother. I think you two will definitely tear the house down. I think your styles will definitely match in the ring.
Hey man, it doesn't matter who I'm in the ring with. I always tear it down with whoever. It doesn't matter. I love the brute of competition, man. You know, I always look at wrestling. I really look at wrestling like gladiators, man. That's what it is, you know. You can call it fake, you can call it whatever, but it's as real as it gets, and I love it. I love it.
Awesome, dude. And what is your overall future plans?
My overall future plans is to do whatever I feel is right in the moment. You know, I don't look ahead, man. That's never been something I like to do. The only time I was looking ahead was when I was wrestler now, and to this day, I choose not to look at it. I choose not to see things. I just do things, and that's the difference. So when you see me in the future, at any point, at any given time, you're going to go, oh yeah, okay, that's what you're feeling. And right now, this is what I'm feeling, and what I'm doing right now is what I'm feeling, and who I am right now is what I'm feeling. So, like I said, what you see and what you hear is what you get.
Awesome, dude. Do you still have your weekly radio show?
Weekly radio show?
I believe I read somewhere, I believe it was on Wikipedia, that you had like a weekly talk show.
Nope. I did a old segment back in the day in 2009 at OVW. It was called the Jamin Olivencia Show. And that was a talk show, but I would interview various different wrestlers at the time. And also be antagonizing a lot of them as well. But no, that was the only show that I was on, man. You know, that was pretty much it.
Oh, okay. Okay, to me, it seems like you got that feel of having a weekly either podcast or radio show. You just had that spark in you.
I guess I don't know anything about a podcast or having a podcast or...
Okay, alright. I just had to bring that up because it was just interesting, so that must be a huge typo on Wikipedia's part, as usual.
Hey, well, I don't like that stuff, so,
Big Al, do you have anything else for our guest?
I just had a question, mainly about your acting. What got you into acting?
Nothing really. It's once again, it's going back to kind of the way I kind of try to live life, man. You go one direction and a lot of other things just pop up in front of you, which is the beauty of life. So acting just kind of came in my lap, man. You know, I got an offer to do the elaborate entrance of Chad Beatty in Louisville at Actors Theater, and I tried out at one. I went there and I said, okay, I'll try this acting thing. I memorized the monologue and impressed them, and it's just something I kind of fell into on accident, and I ended up having a deep passion for it. But not only a little passion for it, but it was such ammo, you know, it gave me more ammo to put into what I love to do, and that's wrestling. You know, I enjoy improv acting as well. That's actually my favorite type of acting.
Yeah,
but I just enjoy it. I enjoy the performance aspect of everything. I think that's just what's fascinating to me. I like the fact that you can, influence people in some way, shape, or form, or get them mad, or make them sad, or really just play with those emotions. There's something that's fun about that to me, and I find it fascinating, and I also find it more fascinating what you find within yourself throughout the process of that, too, and how you learn about yourself. And I'm not talking about in the wrestling business, I'm talking about in life, dude. You know, that it always goes back to that. You know, it's always, wrestling, you call wrestling, or whatever it is you want to do. It's a little ingredient to really what is bigger than that, such as life. And when you find something deeper about yourself, that's the key that you unlock to the world. That's true freedom. So through acting for me, it really brought out another side of me, and it also helped me discover another side of me on a deeper level that work doesn't even do justice to describe, you know? So it's been great.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on the whole improv thing, because improv is one of the more fun aspects of theater that you could ever get into. And performing in general, just in front of people, telling them a story that they otherwise would not be able to experience, and you are directly involved in that story, is just fun.
Right.
Also, hey, Jamon, if our fans want to reach you via social media, how can they reach out to you, champ?
Yes, you can find me on Twitter at Jamon Olivencia, and we're going to go ahead and do this slow for everyone. Jamin, last name Olivencia, Olivencia. Now we're going to do it a little bit more style. It's a little Jamin Olivencia, Jamon Olivencia. If you can't figure out the name, then well, guess what? You better get some reading lessons or something, because right now that's the name that everyone's going to be talking about.
Also, dude, when is the next OVW taping?
OVW's taped every Wednesday night.
Okay.
You have to read off 3400 Shepherd Mill Road. If you're in Louisville, Kentucky, come check it out. It's probably the best thing you'll get to see. It's an awesome bang for your buck. It really is. It's an awesome bang for the buck. So, I mean, it's better than going to the movies. OVW's on fire right now, and I'm just happy to be a part of it, and I'm happy to do it with the crew that I'm doing it. The guy there is passionate. I recommend you guys also follow all those people there, because everyone at OVW, they're all hard workers, you know. So, you know, give them the love too, you know.
Also, we definitely will shoot them some love, and we definitely will probably be approaching them about them coming on the Heel Turn podcast and just shoot the breeze with us. Oh, yeah, I'd like
Very good.
Thank you so much, James, for spending some time with us. We definitely want to have you back on the show in the near future, my friend.
Hey, anytime, guys, and thanks for having me on the show. And just, you know, remember, deep down in yourselves, whatever it is you want, just go do it. Don't try to be a hard ass. Don't try to have an ego about it. Just go and kick some ass the best way you can. And every single day, once you do that, you'll find the real happiness in life. So enjoy your life, guys, and I'll be talking to you soon.
Amen, brother. You stay blessed, okay? Take care, man.
Yeah, you too, sir. Be safe.
All right, thank you.
That was a great interview with Jamon, talking about his career, talking about the opportunities he had with the WWE, with TNA, and ROH. Like I said before we kick into the interview, this guy's going to be a star, Big Al.
I believe it.
Most definitely, and we're hoping to have him back on the show sometime next year. And we can tell us more about his stellar career. Next up, I'm going to give our Heel Turn fans a history on Portland wrestling. And we all know the major stars that came out of Portland wrestling, such as Matt Bourne, obviously, the original Doink the Clown, Roddy Piper, Dick the Bruiser, and so on. Buddy Rose came out of Portland wrestling territory, but Portland wrestling has misfortunes as well. In which I'm going to read some of this. I'm not going to read all of it. The majority of the history of Portland wrestling I will post on our blog page so everybody can go on and read it. And I did check my sources on this, so Heel Turn fans, do not get on don't get on our Facebook page or our blog page and bury me for this. I did do my research. Portland wrestling was originally called Pacific Northwest Wrestling, created and founded by Herb Owen in 1925. It was part of the Northwest Wrestling territory of NWA. The area was brought to its prime by Herb's son, Don Owen, and this version of Pacific Northwest Wrestling saw many of the top names in the business come through on a regular basis, such as Roddy Piper, the original Doink the Clown Matt Bourne, Chris Adams, and Buddy Rose. Pacific Northwest Wrestling was considered one of the main pro wrestling territories from 1960s to the 1980s, but unfortunately due to changes to the centralized Oregon Boxing and Wrestling Commission, or in other words, the Oregon Athletic Commission, began to affect the industry through new rules and regulations. In late 2012, after a 21-year absence, KPTV and KBDS announced it will revive Portland Wrestling under the new name Portland Wrestling Uncut. Portland Wrestling Uncut is under the direction of WWE Hall of Famer Roddy Piper. Portland Wrestling rights owner Don Cross, who is a former announcer of the original Portland Wrestling, also returned to announce the matches alongside special guests every week. PW is currently promoted by P. Switzer, owner of Switzer Entertainment Group, LLC. And like I say, you want to read more of the history of Portland Wrestling, log on to the heelturnpodcast.blogspot.com, and this will be posted in midweek. And that will take us to our exclusive first time ever interview with second generation superstar Pete, the current Portland Wrestling Uncut Tag Team Champion, the one and only Colt Toombs.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is his first solo interview.
Yes, this is a solo podcast interview.
Fans of the Heel Turn podcast and Portland Wrestling Uncut, prepare for some magic.
That's right. We give you Colt Toombs.
Ladies and gentlemen, Heel Turn podcast fans, the moment we all been waiting for, we've been pumping this for about 2 or 3 weeks now. I give you Portland Wrestling Uncut, one half of this tag team champions and superstar, the one and only, so far, soon to be, the legendary Colt Toombs. Colt, welcome to the Heel Turn podcast.
I'm way better than I really am, but that's okay. I'm so happy to be here, man. This is absolutely
Yeah.
absolutely fantastic. Keep me up to date on all you guys' stuff. Keep me excited. Keep me energized with this interview. So you should definitely be thanking her for getting me here for you.
No problem. I want to say a shout out to Sarah. Tell her I said what's up.
Nick, you did forget one thing.
What's that?
You forgot to mention his MMA career in his intro.
Oh, yes, but we're going to talk about his MMA. Colt, I just want to start by saying you were undefeated as an MMA fighter. You went 4-0, wins and losses. Who was your toughest opponent during your short career as an MMA fighter?
Short opponent, from the amateur standpoint, Matt Slosser was a gentleman born and bred here in Oregon, and he was kind of the turning point for me. He was the guy that's supposed to go out better than me a lot, supposed to kind of mark the mat with me a good challenge.
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up winning the decision. He's a really, really tough guy. Being here in Oregon, I was terrified. I was about 17 years old. This guy's got hair in his chest. I was really honestly just terrified, but it was a deciding moment for me and made me know that I could, no matter what, no matter how big, how scary the guy looked, I could overcome it. So he was definitely one of the most important fights I had.
Awesome, dude. Now, I think merge these two questions together real quick.
Okay.
Was it difficult transitioning from MMA to professional wrestling, and who mainly inspired you to get involved with the wrestling industry?
You know what? The reason I got into wrestling is actually kind of an accident. It's obviously I love wrestling growing up. It's what I watched my dad doing. It's what I always intended to go that direction.
Mm-hmm.
Out of high school, I had a chance to fight for Matt Lynn and the Team Quest, and I just took it and rolled with it. But then, about a year ago, this Portland Wrestling Uncut came up, and my dad was going to be involved in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I just simply had a chance to have a couple matches to kind of feel out wrestling and see how I liked it. And all of a sudden, next thing I know, we're doing 13 weeks of TV, get picked up for a year, and I just honestly 100% fell into it, and I absolutely so happy I did because I loved it. And it's a different transition because when you go in MMA, you're going in thinking literally the worst case scenario, kill, 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 and there's a little bit more theatrics in professional wrestling and a little more creativity, which I've really enjoyed being able to branch out mentally and physically rather than just being a dumb brute. I find it a huge, huge advantage for me because I can have a lot more fun and I can be myself. And so I absolutely love the wrestling. It's a different transition, but a lot of fun.
Awesome, dude. So it's safe to say that your Hall of Fame father was a huge influence on your decision to lead MMA, correct?
Absolutely. Big time.
Awesome, man. Since you mentioned Portland Wrestling Uncut, can you describe to our fans the type of emotion you were experiencing when you won your first professional wrestling championship as being Portland Wrestling Uncut Tag Team Champion?
You know what? It was actually huge. So with the Portland Wrestling, we had a couple chances. We thought we had the belt. We lost it, or we had took it away from us on technicality, and it was pretty. It's hard, you know. I'm fighting at the bit. I'm fighting and training hard, trying to get it. And then the littlest things that was just the coolest. When we finally did win the tag team belts over the Blanchard brothers, my dad's there, and you don't think about that kind of stuff.
Oh man!
All of a sudden, my dad's doing commentary on it, and I look over at him and just, I've done it. I have the belts. Everything. It's a perfect world. You know, for that 5 minutes, nothing can bring you down. And just be able to look over and have him be over there was honestly the best experience of my life. I'll never forget it. It was awesome. And then, you know, you get to go backstage and reminisce about the fight, celebrate together, and just being able to have my father be there for that moment, my first title, and it really, honestly, is the defining moment of my life, and it's very important to me.
Be honest, Cole. You took that championship belt and you threw it down at the dinner table and be like, "Look what I did, Dad! I won a belt."
I can do it too, Dad. I got you. Of course. You know, with my dad and I, we grew up obviously training and all that kind of stuff. There's definitely some headbutting going on between us, especially with me getting into the wrestling industry, because I believe I am 10 times the man he is, and he doesn't believe he's 10 times the man I am. So, it's a very competitive love we have, and it's fantastic. I hope someday you guys get to see it firsthand.
Keep this man away from coconuts, ladies and gentlemen.
Keep it away from coconuts. And Cole, do you chew bubblegum and kick people's butt too?
Oh yeah, you got to. All day. When you run out of that bubble gum, it's time to kick ass, that's for sure.
Cole, describe your overall experience in Portland Wrestling Uncut And do you believe Portland Wrestling Uncut has the potential of being the top indie wrestling promotion on the West Coast?
I do believe it does, absolutely, because we are able to capture a demographic that most aren't, and that's from about 12 to 18, and that's the kids that are really literally looking for a real-life superhero, that kind of stuff. We're a very clean promotion. We don't promote, cussing, more risque clothes, that kind of stuff. We're a family-oriented show, and I do believe that we have potential to become the best indie show, if not the best in the world someday. And my experience with it is I came on the very first show with almost zero experience. I had been training a couple days. All I knew that I loved the sport and that I wanted to give it a try. And it was very nerve-wracking. A lot of pressure being Roddy Piper's son, being thrown into the wrestling world. And without a couple notches on my belt, it was a little nerve-wracking. And it's hard. It's a lot harder going into the sport of wrestling with my dad than it was MMA. Because MMA, I could kind of make my own name. Where wrestling, I had all eyes and spectacles on me all times. And so I went into the fresh-faced, brand-new rookie, and then a year later we come out and we're the top-rated show on Fox here in Portland, Oregon.
Awesome.
So, we had a bunch of misfits, and we had a bunch of stuff we didn't think was going to work, and we got the highest-rated show on Fox in Portland, Oregon, which is pretty awesome after only 13, 14 episodes.
Wow, that's very impressive, Colt. Do Roddy Piper, as executive producer, does he have influence over the day-to-day operations or the creative direction of the company?
He does, actually. If you have Roddy Piper in your stable or wrestling show, he'd be stupid not to use him.
Right.
So they put him under as executive producer on stuff, but honestly, he's the director, he's the costume maker, he's the baker, he's everything. So he literally, from the moment we walk in that building, every wrestler has direct contact with Roddy and making sure everything's going on with them. And because sometimes it'll be the simplest thing, we'll have an idea. It will blossom, it'll be beautiful, and all of a sudden, we always call it, he comes, he sprinkles his fairy dust on it. He'll come, and he'll just spend 2 seconds on it, and all of a sudden, a good idea goes to great. He just has that ability that he sees something, he knows what he wants out of it, and can make anybody, no matter who you are and what your talent is, perform like a rock star. So he's a very, very vital part of Portland wrestling.
Awesome.
Now, earlier today I was looking at interview your dad did with Real Sports about how he couldn't watch himself as a wrestler. I'm wondering does he actually watch the product that he's producing now?
He does not too much. Every once in a while there's something like the new Klondike commercial we sat down and watched together. But he does not watch it this stuff too often, mostly because when you're out there and you have all eyes on you, it's a very uncomfortable situation. The job of a professional wrestler is being comfortable in the most uncomfortable situations. I mean, we're dancing around there half naked, giving everything we have. It's a very uncomfortable feeling. And so it's more of you don't watch it because you don't want to go back to that point, and when you do it, you give it your all. It's more you don't want to go back as an actor with and look and criticize the performance and that kind of stuff, more than just being uncomfortable watching it.
Oh, okay. Now, Cole, when you first stepped in the ring at Portland Wrestling Uncut, was it nerve-wracking for you stepping in the ring, even though you guys were performing at a very small venue at the TV station? Was it still did you still have a lot of nerves on your part when you stepped foot in the ring for the first time?
Yeah, there was. Actually, my first match there was with a guy named The Grappler, which is a huge Portland wrestling legend.
Yeah, the legendary guy.
I had the opponent I had that was kind of a big deal. It's nerve-wracking, more so than I can ever explain. I'll be a cocky, cool demeanor all 90% of the time, but honestly, that few seconds before you walk in the ring is one of the most you question, should I go back to college? I should get a day job, I'm right. Oh, God, all that stuff goes through your head every single time for me. And so it is very nerve-wracking, because I put everything out in the line I can. I give you my heart, I give you everything. I'm going to take a fall twice as hard just because I think it might look a little bit better. I might do all kinds of things. I'll give you everything I can. And so it's very nerve-wracking for me. I treat every single performance as if it's possibly my last, and I'm a competitor, so I want it to be as good as possible. And so because of that, it's very nerve-wracking for me. I get nervous no matter what to this day.
Awesome. Colt, do you have ambitions of competing either in the WWE, TNA, or Ring of Honor?
I do. I'm trying, because I am ambitions to my skill level.
Okay.
But I absolutely have dreams of being the number one heavyweight champion in the world, wherever that be at the time.
Oh, wow. Awesome. I think you could be on your way, sir. I really do.
Well, thank you. I'm a Toombs, and we don't do anything half-assed. You know, we go for it no matter what. If I'm in sport, I'm looking at the top.
Awesome. Do you still watch the current WWE and TNA product?
You know, not as much as I'd like to. Usually with the pay-per-views like SummerSlam and stuff, me and my dad will try to sit down and watch it and have a good time together. But I'm not as updated with all the wrestlers as I should be.
Alright, well, let me throw this question out. Since you watch basically the main pay-per-views, which I don't blame you, because the B-rated pay-per-views the WWE put on is basically trash. But,
I don't know, Battleground didn't suck.
Battleground was like a C last night, because...
C+.
C+, yeah. But anyway...
No, there hasn't been a great pay-per-view or even a great matchup to make you want to watch that pay-per-view in quite a while, has there?
No, not really. The only thing entertaining...
Rock and Cena did a great job for two very game guys, great competitors, and, you know, they're definitely both the top of their class. But there hasn't been a matchup like Hogan versus Piper, you know, that kind of stuff that makes people from MTV come in and watch your pay-per-view. You know, there's been nothing that's drawn every single crowd in a while. I agree.
The last match that I really got into, honestly, Cole, was Brock Lesnar versus CM Punk.
Oh, yeah. Fantastic match.
Oh, yeah. That match had me on the edge of my seat from beginning to end.
Mm-hmm. That was one of those matches that lasted 45 minutes and you had no idea. You thought it was over in 10.
Exactly.
The whole time you're on the edge of your feet. I remember that was actually during SummerSlam, I believe.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, fantastic matchup. Brock Lesnar. And can you imagine being CM Punk 35 minutes later and you got to cleanly press Brock Lesnar at the end of the match? And how hard that must be to cardio in the straight CM Punk must have. Oh, man.
I can tell you what, I'm pretty sure that Punk was wearing a lot of ice packs when he got backstage.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Brutal matchup.
Hey, Cole, currently, who's your favorite wrestler in WWE and TNA?
Currently, right now, Randy Orton would be my favorite. And that's
my God.
Cowboy Bob Orton's son. I mean, we go way back as families, we're friends. And I really love what Randy's doing. I think he's really at the top of his abilities. And he's got a good thing going right now. I think he's really working the angles they're giving him and everything. I think Randy Orton is probably my favorite, the best right now.
Oh, Cole, I understand you're very close to the Orton family, but you broke my heart. I really honestly thought you were going to say Daniel Bryan.
No, he's very good too, though, but I have to stay with Randy.
Nick, speaking of favorite wrestlers, Colt, I gotta say, when I was 6 years old, I got my first Roddy Piper shirt, the Hot Rod shirt. I had it until I was 12. It basically disintegrated, and I could not fit it anymore.
Yep. No, that's fantastic. And with the Hot Rod would actually wear off, right? Because if you had the white one, the red and yellow would actually start disintegrating coming off. Oh, yeah, I have a couple of them that have holes and no Hot Rods, but I still wear them.
Actually, my letters stayed. They faded badly, but they stayed. You can still make it out.
As long as there's stains outlining the Hot Rod, it's still classic. So.
Exactly.
Colt, let me throw this at you. I want you to think for a minute.
Okay.
If you were signed to a developmental deal by the WWE, and the WWE giving you the opportunity to select your own new in-ring name, what will be your new name?
Wow, a new name. Ooh, I've always only gone by my Christian name in MMA and everything. It's been Colt Toombs. Huh. My own name.
Good.
I'd have to go something from Transformers like Ultimus Prime or Coltatron. I'd have to go with something awesome like this because I'm not cool enough to play it off in real life, so if I'm going to go this awesome fantasy life, I'm definitely going to go all out and go something I really want, which would be Coltatron, Ultimus Prime, All Hail the Great Colt, something like that.
You know what? If they just keep the first name Colt and they decide, you know how WWE is, they want to own their own intellectual property because they probably tell you, well, you can't be Toombs. If they just
keep, couldn't be Piper either.
Exactly.
Somehow they have to pay me more, and they don't want that.
Exactly. So I would definitely keep Colt. It'd be an all hail Colt. The great and powerful.
I like it. If we could trend this, I'd be very happy if you could help me with this. I'm
I will trend it tonight.
Colt
the Great and Powerful. Colt the Great and Powerful. You know what?
I love it.
You should.
If my dad heard this right now, you'd be throwing me in the back of the head.
You should take that, make some t-shirts, and sell it at the Portland Wrestling Uncut TV tapings.
Perfect. There we go. That way we get it in there before they see it. I love it.
And just put it right underneath. It was contributed by the Heel Turn podcast.
Yes. We're going to trademark it. That's right.
Exactly. Do you have something, Big Al?
Honestly, after that whole, you gave me everything I wanted to know and more, man.
Oh, well, I'm very glad I can help. I'm very passionate about this subject and Spurgeon, my father, so I have a lot to say about it. If I bore you at times, I'm sorry.
No, you did not. This is an incredible interview. Cole, according to your page, your sister is an actor, correct?
Yes, Colt Toombs. She's in Hollywood. She's a model, actress. Pretty much anything you have to be extremely pretty for, she's there.
All right. What's her latest project right now?
She did a movie called Hell's Bells, which is, I believe, released and doing its way in the film festivals right now. And that's her main one that she's focusing on promoting right now.
Okay.
And she just won a bunch of awards at the summer festivals that just happened.
Oh, awesome. You know what, Cole? If, let's just say you were into acting right now, let's say you were cast for a comic book movie. What comic book movie would you do?
Well, They Live.
So you were throwing the remake of They Live.
I'd rather see Hell Comes to Frogtown.
Hell Comes to...
TV series, comic book movie, how awesome would it be if I was able to be the second generation They Live? Oh, man, that would be a dream come true.
Why not do Hell Comes to Frogtown, the TV series?
I'll do that one less willingly, but I'll still participate. The last cut mail, it's not a bad job to get.
Hey, I like that movie. Leave it alone.
You know what? If they do a They Live TV series, I think that should be a great idea. I really do.
You know what? I've been, over the years of They Live and stuff, they've talked about doing a series and a remake that hopefully are in the makings now, and I would love to be a part of that. That's definitely something that I obviously have passion for, interest in, and I would love to somehow get my hands in there and get on that. That's a fantastic job, and I'd love to honor my father by being able to play his part.
Now, I remember years ago I watched the Roddy Piper DVD, and I saw you having your interview on it.
Yeah, the Born the Controversy DVD.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I figured those years ago that kid's going to go into the wrestling. And
thank you. I remember my dad always says when he won one of the titles, I ran in the ring, I gave him Jack, and I threw up a peace sign. I've always been a guy for theatrics, even when I was younger. And well, thank you. I'm really glad that you think I have potential in this business even way back then. I always felt I grew up. When you guys grow up watching your father, whether he's an accountant, a fireman, a wrestler, he's your hero. It doesn't matter what it is. If you're a boy and your dad's there, he's your hero, and he's everything to you. So I grew up watching my dad do this professional wrestling, and I grew up watching him get beat up, and I thought it was awesome. That's the life I want, and nothing could shine me away from it. And still to this day, I believe that he's my hero. I love him, and he gave up a lot of stuff to be able to be a wrestler and have a family for us. And I just hope someday that I can be good enough to do him honor.
Awesome. Cole, another question. I know Piper over the years had mentioned that he spent a lot of time with the Hart family up in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Did you spend any time with the Hart family as a kid?
You know, when I was younger, we did actually. We spent quite a bit more time up there. The last time we saw was about 2 years ago. It was the last time I saw Brett. My dad and us in a restaurant up in Toronto somewhere. And we don't get around as much as we used to, but they're a great family, and they truly are family for us.
Oh, awesome. And speaking of families, I got to ask you this question. I've been trying to save it towards the end. I saw the episode of Celebrity Wife Swaps with your father and Ric Flair.
Yeah.
And can you tell us, how was it to have Ric Flair's, was it his wife or his girlfriend?
It was his girlfriend, Wendy, that came. And the biggest, obviously the most horrific thing is my mom had to spend a week with Ric Flair.
What?
This is terrible. But it was a great experience. Actually, the Flairs and us go way back. They grew up
Right.
Usually it's people in the same industry, and they swipe and swap them, and they don't know each other. But there was actually, when my mom and Flair saw for the first time, they wanted to hug each other, and they had to stop them and try to figure out if they had clearance for the two different people to hug because they never had a couple of people that were friends.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that's insane.
Oh, yeah, and it was a set for everything you can imagine. From having my dad and Flair together, everything went down. There was cop cars, ambulances, fires, asteroids, everything you'd imagine would go down went down.
Wow. I did not know that. Colt, one last question.
Yes, sir.
If you could face one wrestler from the past or present, who will it be and what type of match it will be?
My goodness. I would have to say Andre the Giant and my father, because back then they used to wrestle a ton, and Andre was such a big guy, and they say that my dad was one of the few men that knew how to wrestle him correctly to make sure it was not only a fantastic match, but both parties were comfortable.
Right.
So I would love to be able to see that in person, see two men that have been fighting for, a couple hundred times because I truly know the art form, and as two people as different as Andre and my father. That's the match I would love to see live.
Now, if you could choose who you would rather wrestle, would you rather wrestle your dad or Andre the Giant?
Oh, I'm going to go Andre the Giant just because I know my dad personally, and he scares the living crap out of me. I'm going to go Andre and just take what I don't know, go with the unknown, because my dad is furious. I mean, to this day, he still beats me up when we spar, and it sucks. It's demeaning, demoralizing, but he can do it.
Just out of curiosity, how is your dad?
He's doing fantastic. He's actually in on his way to Los Angeles as we speak.
Oh,
And he's doing fantastic. Health is great. He had a couple bad things like cancer, some real surgery, serious neck surgery recently, and everything. He's 110% now. He's healthy and he's getting back into the world and really, really killing it. He's working hard, doing some great projects. So he's healthy, and my whole family's happy and healthy.
Awesome. That's a real blessing, Colt. It really is.
Yes, sir, it is. That's all you can ask for, isn't it?
Yes, you can. That's all you can ask for. Is for a blessed, healthy family and a good father figure and a great mother figure, and the sky's the limit. And God, I believe God has truly blessed your family, dude.
Well, thank you. And also, you can't forget great podcasts where I can go on and vent. That's one of the most important things.
Hey,
like Heel Turn podcast, one of the best out there. Just saying.
Thank you. And you can always come on the Heel Turn podcast and vent about whatever you want.
I will, absolutely. You guys are absolutely stand-up operation, and I'm so happy I was able to do this interview for you guys. If there's anything I can do in the future, please let me know, because I'll be happy to do it.
No problem. If our fans want to reach you via social media, how can they?
The easiest way to get to me is at Colt Toombs on Twitter. You can follow me. We talk about all kinds of cool stuff, and if anybody needs to get a hold of me, Sarah Vaden is also at Sarah Vaden on Twitter, and she's my PR, does all my stuff, so that's the easiest way. At Colt Toombs, at Sarah Vaden.
Awesome. And when is the next Portland Wrestling Uncut TV tapings?
We're supposed to start up in about 2 months here for the next season.
Okay. Now,
yeah, so when I know the actual date for you guys, I will let you know so you guys can pump it.
Yeah, just have Sarah send the information to me. I can pump it on our Twitter page, Facebook, and on our blog site. Quick question.
Every good man's a great woman, and that's her for me. If you need anything from me, go to her.
Now, do they have the Portland Wrestling episodes on YouTube?
They do, actually. If you go to Portland Wrestling Uncut on YouTube, they have from 1 to 36, I believe, all our 36 episodes. And then also the pdxtv.com will have all the episodes as well.
Yes, and we have that link to our blog page as well, so we can tell our fans to go on to heelturnpodcast.blogspot.com. We have that link for that as well. Well, Colt, thank you so much for coming on with us, and like I said, we definitely going to bring you back again, sir. And
I look forward to it. Please do.
And you can hit us up anytime, man.
Awesome. I look forward to it. And please, anything I can do for you guys, let me know. You guys have been absolutely outstanding, and I thank you so much for your time and effort.
Well, thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you guys so much. God bless.
All right. God bless you. You have a great night. All right. That was an incredible interview with Colt Toombs, and like I say, it's kind of funny. I emailed the guys from Independent. I emailed the guys, from Indie Power Rankings. And I basically told them on Twitter
that they need to check out Colt Toombs out there at Portland Wrestling Uncut. And they tweet him out, say they will. Colt Toombs is a great guy, great wrestling, good wrestling background, great wrestling heritage from Roddy Piper. And this kid will become a breakout star. And I'm waiting very patiently to see him expand his craft beyond Portland Wrestling Uncut, Big Al.
I agree.
All right. That will do this for us. This was an incredible start to the month of October. You have anything to add, Big Al, before we go?
Just join us next week and we'll have even more.
We'll have even more. Next week we'll have the one and only Ms. Natural, Heather McQuinn, joining us.
Daughter of WWE superstar Ken Patera.
That's right. And also on tap, we will have a quick interview with Pro Wrestling Gorilla and Dragon Gate USA superstar and indie sensation Brian Cage. And also Big Al's exclusive one-on-one interview with Sassy Stephanie. So I can't wait for that. So we got 3 big interviews coming out for next week. A mega triple header, which I cannot wait for when you tune in for the October 14th edition of the Heel Turn Podcast. Big Al?
I got nothing else. How about you, Sosie?
Oh, I would like to add that next week I will have a fanfic fail. I dug through all of the jewels and found a nice steaming turd to bring to you all next week.
Oh my god. Is there a continuation from that last fanfic fail you did from last week? Because this, out of all the fanfic fails you did, that one I did have to really put the Heel Turn Podcast earmuffs on. Because it actually was interesting in a creepy way.
Well, it is continuing. I just read 2 chapters of it today.
We'll send you a link, Nick.
No, Sheamus has come out of his coma that he was in. He was in a induced coma after he got stabbed. He's out of it now. He got while he was under, he got entangled in Luke from the Wyatt family into one of his nightmares. And he was in.
You know what?
It took John and Randy and Sheamus's aunt all together and for him to draw energy from them to.
This is all on Fanfic Fail.
Yes.
Is there a way we could copy and paste this on our blog page?
You know what? I can ask the author for permission. We might be able to link it. I'm sure. But yeah, I will.
I think that's what we should do to all the fanfic fails for.
But see, this one isn't actually a fail.
No, this is a success.
This is a success.
This is a good one. Next week, I will bring you a fail, and my does it fail?
How bad? 1 to 10.
With 10 being
a 12. It was a 12.
So that was a nuclear holocaust.
And I feel bad because I'm pretty sure the person who wrote it is in high school because her name had 1998 on the end. And by reading the story, I'm sure the 1998 was when she was born and not when she graduated. Because yeah,
I'm hoping it's when she graduated.
Me too.
Just for fail factor.
No.
Me too. Whoa. Okay, I got nothing else. Big Al, send us off.
Okay, well, thank you for joining us for this edition of the Heel Turn Podcast. I am Big Al.
I am Nick the Shopmaster McGee.
Sensational Sosie.
Have a week and get out of my room.